The Cannonball Run wasn't just a car movie, it was absolute chaos. Burt Reynolds called it his worst decision. DeLuise couldn't stop laughing long enough to film. Roger Moore trolled his own Bond persona, and the ambulance? Stolen from a real illegal cross-country race. Buckle up. This gets wild. Number 1. The race actually happened. 1971. Journalist Brock Yates and racing legend Dan Gurney stuffed themselves into a Dodge van and drove from New York to LA in 35 hours and 54 minutes. Why? To flip off federal speed limits. Yates created the Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Memorial Trophy Dash as a middle finger to the government. Years later, he wrote the script. Then he appeared in the opening as a race official. This wasn't fiction. Yates was filming his own outlaw past. The man actually did it. Number 2. That ambulance in the movie? Not a prop, not a replica. The actual getaway vehicle. Yates and Needham drove it in the 1979 Cannonball. Fake medical team, forged documents, crossed state lines dodging cops. It broke down 50 miles from the finish. They hauled it on a flatbed, fixed it up, and turned their crime into a film prop. Evidence became entertainment. Number 3. Burt Reynolds absolutely hated making this movie. 1980. He was the biggest star in America. Didn't need another dumb car film, but Hal Needham was his best friend, and the studio offered $5 million. $5 million. Reynolds took it, showed up hungover, barely glanced at the script, treated filming like spring break. He later called it career suicide. But the movie made $160 million worldwide. Sometimes being lazy pays. Number 4. Steve McQueen was supposed to star. McQueen died. Production panicked. The script was written for a serious racing drama. McQueen would have played it straight, intense, brooding, dangerous. Instead, they got Burt Reynolds, who turned it into a comedy vacation. McQueen's ghost haunted the project, but Reynolds showed up in sunglasses and didn't give a damn. The chaos became the point. Number 5. Nobody knew what movie they were making. Farrah Fawcett signed on for an action romance. She studied her lines, planned her wardrobe, prepared for emotional depth. Then she walked on set. Dean Martin was dressed as a priest. Drunk. DeLuise was wearing a superhero costume. She looked around confused. Is this a comedy? Nobody answered. She played it straight anyway. At the premiere, the audience roared with laughter at her serious scenes. Fawcett sat mortified in the dark, realizing she'd been pranked for 6 months. The joke was on her. Number 6. DeLuise ruined everything. On purpose. He couldn't deliver a line without cracking up. As Captain Chaos, he'd start a scene, break character, laugh, collapse. Burt Reynolds would just stare. Are you done? DeLuise wasn't. He'd do it again. And again. Needham stopped caring. He left the disasters in the final cut. Half of DeLuise's performance is him laughing at his own jokes. It shouldn't have worked. It did. Number 7. Roger Moore spent the entire shoot trolling himself. He drove an Aston Martin DB5 with Bond's license plate. Full spy gear. The running gag? Moore's Bond never drove an Aston Martin. Not once. 7 films. Always a Lotus Esprit. But Moore didn't care. He winked at the camera, mocked his own legacy, and collected a paycheck. Days after Cannonball Run opened, For Your Eyes Only premiered. Moore promoted both films at the same time. James Bond selling out James Bond. It was beautiful. Number 8. That Ferrari, Hal Needham's personal car. His baby, fast, tuned, worth a fortune, completely uninsurable for stunts. Needham handed Dean Martin the keys and said, "Don't wreck it." Martin was drunk. The Ferrari came inches from disaster in every scene. No backup, no safety net. If Martin totaled it, Needham lost everything. He filmed it anyway. That's not directing, that's gambling. Number 9. Jackie Chan hated every second. They billed him as Japanese. He's from Hong Kong. Every time he appeared, stereotypical Asian music played. He spoke Cantonese. They dubbed him as Japanese. His role? 5 minutes. Total. But something clicked during post-production. Chan saw the blooper reel over the credits. He loved it. He stole the idea for Dragon Lord in 1982. Now every Jackie Chan film ends with bloopers. Cannonball Run gave cinema one of its greatest traditions. By accident. Number 10. Don Rickles said no. The studio offered him Sammy Davis Jr.'s role. Rickles read it and walked. Too stupid, even for me. So Sammy Davis Jr. stepped in. He and Dean Martin played fake priests and improvised everything. Martin ignored the script entirely. Whatever made the crew laugh stayed. The result? Pure madness. But it worked. Sometimes the backup plan is better than the original. Number 11. Mid-production, disaster struck. A camera crane collapsed. It fell directly onto a $50,000 Shelby Cobra and an $85,000 Ferrari Boxer. Crushed them. The crew went silent. These weren't rentals. These were collector pieces, irreplaceable. The producers scrambled, found substitutes, kept filming. Nobody spoke about it. The wrecked cars disappeared on flatbeds like crime scene evidence. Insurance barely covered it. The shoot moved on. Hollywood doesn't stop for tragedy or expensive mistakes. It just keeps rolling. Number 12. The sequel was greenlit before the movie finished. Executives watched early footage, heard test audiences laughing, and immediately approved Cannonball Run 2. No locked script, no edited film, just confidence. They had stars, they had chaos, they had momentum. That was enough. The sequel bombed, but nobody saw that coming. Hubris never does. Number 13. Roger Ebert destroyed it. Half a star. Out of 4. He called it an abdication of artistic responsibility at the lowest possible level of ambition. Critics piled on. Variety mocked it. The New York Times sneered. But audiences didn't care. Opening weekend, number 1. Domestic total, $72 million. Worldwide, $160 million. Sixth highest grossing film of 1981. Critics were wrong. Chaos sold. The lesson? Never trust film critics with car movies. Number 14. Burt Reynolds' stunt double is in the movie. Roy Tatum looked identical. The crew constantly mixed them up. One day, a producer approached Tatum with pages of notes. Detailed feedback. Character motivation. Tatum just nodded. Let him finish. Walked away. Never corrected him. Nobody realized until Wrap. Reynolds heard about it and laughed for days. Even the producers couldn't tell them apart. Number 15. The blooper reel became legendary. The credits didn't just roll. They exploded. Missed cues. Ruined takes. Actors breaking. Dom DeLuise forgetting lines. Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. dying over rosary beads. Burt Reynolds saying, "Rosary bleeds." Captain Chaos accidentally telling someone the race ends at your ass. It was chaos. Pure, unfiltered, beautiful chaos. For 1981 audiences, it felt revolutionary. The movie wasn't pretending to be art. It was actors having fun and not hiding the mess. That honesty, it became the film's soul. The bloopers were better than the movie. Bonus fact, 1986. Japanese game designer Yu Suzuki watched Cannonball Run and got inspired. He created Outrun, not the plot, not the characters, just the feeling. Sunlight, speed, open highways. A red Ferrari screaming across impossible roads. Outrun became one of the most influential racing games ever made. Generations of gamers chased that high. All because of this messy, chaotic, barely competent film. Cannonball Run changed gaming. Nobody planned that. It just happened.